We should be live. Let me just share the screen for y'all. You guys should be able to see that. All right, dope. If you guys are, let me pull my mic here. If you guys are already in the stream, you guys can see we're going to be having a live SuperFlex Dynasty draft for you guys in the stream and the people that are, in it and drafting with us. So let's kick this off. I'm going to start off with a little randomized order, for the boys. You always got to do that. Let me just do that. Randomize. And I got the 4th pick. You got the 3rd pick. So we're going to start this. Perfect. So Dunny is on the clock. Oh, shoot. Let me make the. Should I make it a minute or should I keep it 30?
Keep it 30 seconds. So I'll move it along pretty quick.
Okay, bet. We'll keep it 30 seconds.
Reese got a mock draft plus a draft beer. Love to see that.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Let's go, boys. Let's go, Matt. Big ups. A little mock draft for the boys. You already know. Got Patrick Mahomes.
Third now. Oh, did you randomize it? Of course, I'm picking back to back with you. So you just players.
Hey, buddy, we're just gonna be setting the tone on each other. We got Raber on the clock. He's got 9 seconds for this pick. See what happens. I kind of like the quick timer in these mocks.
Oh yeah, for sure. Wow. Justin Herbert, eh?
Wow. Okay.
On the clock here.
Now are you going CMC or Josh Allen?
I'm gonna go CMC. I'm gonna take the running back off the board. I feel gross picking a quarterback early in the first round. I don't know why. Like I shouldn't be. The only quarterback I'm willing to pick in the first round really is Patrick Mahomes, unless Josh Allen's available, like past where he should be.
And for me right now, the reason why Josh Allen is the pick is I do see, like, although these running backs are fantastic, they're a tier below CMC in my opinion in terms of stability. Whereas Josh Allen, I think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback for the next 10, 15 years. And he's the safest person at that 104 spot, in my opinion.
For sure. Yeah.
Like as good as Jonathan Taylor is, he's got question marks in terms of his overall workload for next year. They brought back Mac, still have Hines. What are we really going to see? I still think he's going to be fantastic, but you still got those type of concerns. Whereas a guy like Josh Allen, he's a superstar, ready-made quarterback with a good offense around him.
For sure. Yeah.
So CJT.
I mean, to me, it's a little surprising that Jonathan Taylor's the second running back off the board. What do you like? I know he's obviously of the top guys, he's the youngest, right? Like he's younger than Saquon, he's younger than Cook, he's younger than Kamara and anybody else that you're going to put in that neighborhood. But I personally just can't put him there yet. I know his age is obviously a big beneficiary to him, but I would rather have Saquon Barkley and Dalvin Cook than Jonathan Taylor in Dynasty right now, personally. I think when you get into Jonathan Taylor versus Alvin Kamara,
that's when
scoring format's probably a big determining factor in that. But if it's a half PPR, I think I would lean Taylor in that situation, but it's close.
Yeah, and like that's simply due to the fact that Kamara's an older back, like comparatively to Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he's going to be 26. That's not old at all. You compare that. You compare the situation with the quarterback going on right now. In terms of we don't know what's exactly going to happen with the Saints.
Beyond this year, we have no idea what they're going to do.
Right. So I could definitely see the case being made there. But yeah, even Dalvin Cook, I know there's slight injury concerns, but if I'm picking high in the draft, I want a running back that can win me now. And I know Dalvin Cook year 1, year 2 is going to outproduce Jonathan Taylor. So I probably would lean Cook in that situation. But the fact that Jonathan Taylor is even in this discussion where he was at midway through his rookie season is pretty insane to even think about.
Yeah, Raver said in the chat, he's like 2 spots the worst, LOL. I kind of agree with him. I don't really like it either. J.K. Dobbins is the 110. Damn, I thought I'd have a prayer getting J.K. Dobbins close to my pick, but I guess not.
Yeah, no, we do see him go before his better running back in the – no, I'm kidding. And Lamar Jackson. I'm not the biggest J.K. Dobbins advocate as you've seen. I just simply don't see the overall workload being there for him to have that top 5 type upside. But regardless, you're getting a top 10 probably yearly back who's 22, 23 years old and one of the better or best run offenses in the entire league. So I can see the case for him.
Top 5 upside for him. Because
I just don't see the workload being there.
Ingram was the running back 9 on 200 carries in 2019.
But the thing is, I don't see him touching the ball more than 250 times because I do think Gus Edwards is a good back. I do think they're going to mix in Justice Hill. I do think Lamar Jackson's going to have 150 type rushing attempts in the season. I just don't see the overall workload being there. Now, if you could guarantee me right now that he was going to have an Aaron
I think he's going
Jones
to have 15 touchdowns every single season.
Okay. What's the reception upside and what's the overall touch upside?
That's where you got to make the distinction between like if his volume is going to go up because he's going to command volume, or does Lamar really just not throw to his running backs? Because I tend to side with the fact that I don't expect him to be a 70 reception back, but if
he's like 50.
I think he can catch a lot more passes than people are giving him credit for. I think everyone's going with the lazy narrative that Lamar's not going to throw to his running backs, which is true to some extent. But when J.K. Dobbins starts like proving that he's worthy of those kind of targets, I think he's going to command them. And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised with how many balls he catches this year. And is he going to get more than 200 carries? Probably not. I'd imagine he gets like 195, 215 carries, like somewhere in that range. But if he can catch 40 passes, 50 passes, and have 15 to 20 total touchdowns, he's going to be a top 5 running back.
It's just the problem I have is relying on someone to return that amount of touchdown upside yearly.
That's what we do with Alvin Kamara. That's exactly what Alvin Kamara is.
And I get that, but he's proven it year in and year out that he's like that's his floor.
Right. Like, but there was once a point that Alvin Kamara hadn't proven it yet, right? And that's what we're at with J.K. Dobbins. In that article that I talked about, where I talked about J.K. Dobbins' efficiencies only matching that of David Johnson and Alvin Kamara as rookies, that's the type of ceiling I could see for J.K. Dobbins. I think he's going to be an efficiency type running back. He's not going to be a volume ball carrier, but I think he can reach that Alvin Kamara height.
Now, the difference and distinction, which is what makes Kamara what he is at that volume, is that he's catching 80, 85, 90 type upside in the single season. I don't think J.K. Dobbins is ever going to reach that type of ceiling from reception upside. If you could probably convince me that he's probably got an RB overall 5 type upside, but you can't convince me he's never going to be like an Alvin Kamara weekly, week in, week out, like 30, 35 point type of guy. I don't personally see that. I think he's a fantastic real life running back, and he's one of the most fun rookies in this entire draft to end up watching. I just don't see the upside comparatively from him to even like Cam Akers. I end up getting Cam Akers there at the 2.9. I just think the workload for Akers is going to be much better.
Oh, it definitely could be much better. I just think the way that the Ravens offense operates is so conducive to the way that J.K. Dobbins plays football. And I think the rushing offense for the Ravens, the dominance of the rushing offense for the Ravens is not going away anytime soon. And I think J.K. Dobbins is going to be more of a 1B to that. The reason the rushing offense is so good rather than like a tertiary piece like Mark Ingram was a couple of years ago behind Lamar.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see. It should be fun.
So you went with Akers at the 2.9. You mentioned his name. I think I went with Aaron Jones mainly. I was caught between him and Nick Chubb, and the reason I went with Aaron Jones is because Aaron Jones got the security of a new contract, right? Nick Chubb is going to be a free agent after this year, and I'm actually going to assume that he's going to get a new contract. So I'm actually going to pick him right now. Yeah, and I got a 3-stack of running backs that is very fearsome right now with the 3 guys that I have: Christian McCaffrey, Aaron Jones, and Nick Chubb. Those 3 dudes can carry my fantasy team for the next, 2, 3, 4 years, as long as they're like in their primes. And none of these guys are 22 years old, but none of them are over 25, I'm pretty sure either. So these guys are all pretty young too.
Yeah, 100%. So with that being said here, I'm assuming Justin Fields is going to be the Niners quarterback, and I'm just going to take him here. Now, if this is Trey Lance as a Niner, it's not going to be Zach Wilson, but if it was Zach Wilson as a Niner, just pick and choose whoever that's going to be. Whoever's the 49ers quarterback out of those top 4 would be my pick in this situation. I mentioned it. If Justin Fields is a San Francisco 49er, I'm valuing him ahead of Trevor Lawrence. And getting him here at the 3-4 in that type of circumstance, it's just insane value. So now I'm looking at a team, a young type of talented team. You got Josh Allen, who's 26 years old. You got Cam Akers, who's 23. And now I'm getting Justin Fields, who's going to be a rookie 22, 23-year-old quarterback and what should end up profiling to be one of the better offenses in the entire league with one of the best overall play callers at coach. I'm all in if that's the case, and getting him here again, as I mentioned, 3-4, I think is incredible value.
Yeah, if Fields is anything like the ceiling that everybody sees for Justin Fields, he like that offense will be a top 3 unit in the league. It'll be like the Kansas City Chiefs level of stability, like the way we project the Chiefs pass catchers, right? We're just like, there's no risk with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill when it comes to an offensive play calling and a quarterback play standpoint. If Justin Fields, not necessarily, he doesn't even have to be as good as Patrick Mahomes. If he's as good as Justin Herbert, but with Kyle Shanahan as his play caller, like that's going to be just a tremendous offense and situation to have. And as a Deebo Samuel and a Brandon Ayuk owner in one league, I have both guys. I'm just loving that situation. I will be really, really upset if Mac Jones ends up being the pick at 3.
Definitely.
Not that I think it'll be bad, but I just think the ceiling with a guy like Justin Fields or Trey Lance is just so much higher.
I mean, could you just imagine a guy, for reference, we saw what Kyle Shanahan did with Robert Griffin III as a rookie. Justin Fields has that type of top-end speed with elite arm. Could you just imagine the overall
size to hold up too that RG3 didn't have?
RG3 was a top 5 quarterback as a rookie. He threw 20 touchdowns as a rookie. I think Justin Fields could throw 25, possibly 30 with the assortment of weapons they have on San Francisco. I am all in. Like if Justin Fields ends up as a San Francisco 49er, I would have a hard time ranking him outside of my top 7 overall quarterbacks in Dynasty.
Right. Yeah. Because like you could think that's like overreacting, but like when you look at it, if you said Josh Allen could be a top 8 Dynasty quarterback a couple of years ago, like a year ago from now, and you traded for him or traded him away, in my case, my dumbass traded him away. But if you would have projected that for Josh Allen, like you'd be swimming in value right now, because we just talked about Josh Allen potentially being the 102, right? So like that's a huge value jump from where he was last year. Last year, what was he, 4th, 5th round startup pick, maybe a 3rd rounder if quarterbacks were flying off the board. Yeah. So
about quarterback 8 or 9.
Yeah, like that's a big time value jump to go from the quarterback
4th overall,
7 or 9 or whatever he was last year to the 2nd overall pick in a Dynasty startup. So a lot of value at the end of this round that I just saw here. Travis Kelce, Tyler got at the 3-9, which is just tremendous. I think Austin Eckler at the 3-8, the pick before that, and George Kittle at the 3-12, just phenomenal pick right there too. And then that run of receivers there with Diggs, Hopkins, and CeeDee Lamb. I think I'm personally a little lower on CeeDee Lamb. I don't think I'd pick him in the range of those guys. But Stephon Diggs and Hopkins specifically in that range, like you're getting a bona fide number 1 receiver as your 4th pick overall.
Yeah, I agree. Again, when you're looking I was eyeing him too. But when you're looking at CeeDee Lamb, I have him at wide receiver 11. I probably wouldn't group him with those guys, but you're talking about the late 4th, early 5th round. I think he's definitely worth that type of pick. Now, you mentioned Nick Chubb. The reason why I went with Akers, they're both the same tier for me. I just kind of like having this youth type aspect of my team. I got the Allen, I got the Akers, I got the Fields. Decided to build it that way. You can make an argument for either player at that 2-9. I fully agree. Nick Chubb is also a stud. So with that being said, looking at the board here, you got Godwin, you got Michael Thomas. Oh shit, I'm running out of time. Running backs. I'm just gonna go Javonte.
Damn it. Actually, I'm kind of glad you did that because you made my decision easier, because I was going to pick Javonte even though I have 3 straight running backs. But you made my decision easier. I'm going to get my first quarterback. I'm going to take Ryan Tannehill here.
Smart.
Because the way that a SuperFlex Dynasty startup works, right, is that the 2 most scarce positions in that type of format are running back and quarterback. So the way I've started my draft, not that I intended to go these positions, I think the value lined up for where I picked them, but I'm in a good spot for the scarce positions in the startup. I don't have receivers yet, but that's fine, because in the 7th, 8th, 9th round, there's going to be plenty of young, talented, and some older veterans that I can use as well to supplement production in that respect. Because I think with my running back core, I have a team that can compete right now. So if I have to draft an Adam Thielen in the 10th round, that's fine, because I'm going to be able to use him to compete right away.
Definitely. And I do think Ryan Tannehill is a clear tear break at the quarterback position.
Do too. That's why I picked him. I was like really debating going Javonte just because I thought he was a tier break as well at the running back position. But I think I probably would have leaned Tannehill anyway, given the fact that I took 3 straight running backs. I'm hoping I can get another one of the quarterbacks I'm eyeing right now with my next pick, because there is a specific guy that I do want at my next pick. And
is he a raker?
A raker? What does that mean?
This is a joke. Does it rhyme with raker?
Oh, no, it's not Baker Mayfield.
It's Cousins in there?
Nope.
Oh, interesting. Oh, Matthew Stafford. Doink. I'm dumb. Yeah. I didn't even see Matthew Stafford at first. Okay. Michael Thomas.
Crybaby off the board. Michael Thomas at the 5-1. Not bad. I just traded him away, as we talked about on our Rate My Dynasty team. If you guys have any ideas, by the way, for what we should call that series, I'm out of them. I keep thinking calling it like Dynasty Decisions or like rate my team or whatever. We have some comments here if we want to go through them here.
Yeah, we can go through them. Sorry.
Yeah. So Spicy Hot says, yeah, the boy Nick Chubbalicious. He's pretty elite.
Chubbalicious.
I am on the clock again. I see Chris Godwin kind of staring me in the face right now, which is really intriguing.
Really good pick if you do.
I am going to take Matthew Stafford personally because I think he has just an absolutely phenomenal ceiling in the situation that he is in. And I have two quarterbacks they're not the youngest quarterbacks in the world. They're both like early 30s, or late 20s, early 30s. But I think these dudes have 3, 4, 5 more productive years ahead of them.
Definitely. So now I'm eyeing Terry McLaurin, and he's currently, I believe, my wide receiver 11 or 12 in Dynasty. Let me just check. Oh, I'm going to run out of time. Regardless, I'm going to take Terry McLaurin.
And,
he is currently...
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
He's currently my wide receiver 13. I have him one spot behind Godwin, but again, I view that all as a tier. Talking about the overall youth that we have here, I mean, to be fair, I think they might even be the same age. I'm just looking at it. What Terry McLaurin's been doing throughout his career without a steady quarterback has been remarkable. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is honestly the best quarterback he's played with in his career. And you're mentioning a guy who last year, with freaking Alex Smith, Taylor Heineke, Dwayne Haskins, produced 1,200 receiving yards. I think that's his floor. He is one of the most independent type receivers in the league. Independent of the situation, it does not matter. You got a guy who's got 4.35 burners, one of the best route runners in the league, and can do it at all 3 levels of the field. I think Terry McLaurin at the 5'4" is honestly just candy. Take it.
Yep.
Giving candy to a baby.
Yeah. So Matt says, how do you feel about the 108 and the 208 for Aaron Jones? So
I'll take Jones.
I'll take Jones there too. I think with the 108, you're probably looking at Javonte Williams or Kyle Pitts. Maybe you value Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, or Rashad Bateman kind of in that area. I would personally lean Jones and then the 208, you're looking more at like a Terrace Marshall type area with that. That's more of like a guessing game at the 208. I think probably in that range of the draft, you're looking at a second or third round receiver in like a less than ideal situation. I'll take the guy who just got a 4-year extension playing with one of the best quarterbacks in the league who's going to get the bulk of the receiving work now that Jamal Williams is in Detroit. I think Aaron Jones might even have even more of a ceiling than people are giving him credit for this coming year.
Yeah, no, definitely. Aaron Jones, we've seen it multiple times. He's got legitimate 40-point week winning type upside.
No.
I'm surprised you didn't take Zach Wilson on.
I wanted to get a guy like Matthew Stafford who I could use this year and then have a young guy to groom behind the 2 veteran quarterbacks that I have. So that's a little unfortunate that Zach Wilson, I thought I could get him easily at the pick I was going. I thought people were off of him because he's going to the Jets most likely.
Yeah, which is still insane to me in my opinion. We'd see Allen Robinson the next pick. So let's get through a couple teams. That's my team. I'm praying they select Fields. Yeah, fingers crossed. That would be nasty for the San Francisco 49ers in getting Justin Fields. Even if Fields lands in Denver. Exactly. I've said it multiple times. I think like even if Trey Lance landed in Denver, I think John Elway wants that type of quarterback with the mobility, with the big arm, regardless if it's Lance or Fields. That would be a steal. And damn it, I thought DJ Moore was so far down that I could get him at my next pick.
Yeah,
good pick.
I think Fields especially has a great chance to go to a good landing spot. If he doesn't go to 3 to San Francisco, I think there's going to be teams calling to come up and get him, whether it's Denver, whether it's New England. I think both of those landing spots specifically are going to be really good for him, or he could just go pick 4 to Atlanta if they decide to pick a quarterback too. So I think Fields, no matter where he goes, San Fran obviously being the best location for him, but I think no matter where he goes, he's going to have a big time opportunity to be an early fantasy contributor with whatever he has around him in those main situations I just mentioned.
Yeah, definitely. Y'all think Watson will play this season? I think he's going to get put on the exempt list initially and then going to end up playing. So that's my thought. He might miss the whole season. We'll see what happens. Regardless, I mean, you're still talking about a guy when healthy, when playing, is a top 5 overall quarterback in fantasy. So it's worth the risk, and I knew you're eyeing him. I'm fine with either of these top 2 guys, by the way. So even if I want to get sniped, then whatever. Flat. Oh, sad. You should have gotten here earlier, brother.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
You not yeah, man. I was hoping you were sleeping on him, Matt. So we got Ice Up. See who Ice Up takes from me right here. It's probably gonna be one of the guys. Okay, I'm fine. I got Amari Cooper ranked higher, and he's still. I think he's still only 26 years old, I believe.
You asshole.
So I'll snag him here and see what falls back to me.
You look like a tier break to me at the receiver position. I'm a little mad that you just picked him.
Gotta rep the Cowboys.
On my quarterback core. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I actually debate taking Mac Jones here, low key. Like, I actually think he's not a terrible pick here because I think we know he's going to get the draft capital if he's being talked up at 3. But I'm going to go with the guy who just got himself a new number 1 toy. I'm going to take Daniel Jones as my third quarterback. Okay. I think he still has a ceiling. I don't think he's realized it yet. And maybe we can see a Josh Allen-like ascension from him because I think he has gotten better in his NFL career. He just hasn't had anybody to throw to. With Barkley coming back this year and with Kenny Golladay coming in, I think we have no excuses for him, at least. He should be at least able to move the offense better than he did last year. And even last year, there was weeks that you could plug him in as like a third quarterback. So,
yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think you got the upside there. He's got the mobility. He can put it down the field if he needs to. He just needs that type of weapon to really stretch the field. You mentioned at that 12th or 11th overall pick, they should have one of the options being Waddle or Smith still on the board around that point. And if they pass on them, I will be shocked because, quite frankly, I know they signed Golladay. They still need that type of separator to really complement that receiving core. So overall, I do agree, and we do see Devonta Smith and Mark Andrews both go, and I was eyeing both of them. So straight pain, but yeah.
Oh yes, I'm gonna get him. Yes, I'm so glad he didn't take him. Nice, I got TJ Hawkinson right there. Nice. That's beautiful. The way I have constructed my team is just completely fading the wide receiver position because I have basically a starting roster filled out and a bench quarterback without having taken a receiver yet. And it feels pretty good knowing that if you look on the receiver board right now, there's still a number of guys that can contribute in the future with some of the young guys like Jalen Waddle, Jerry Jeudy and stuff. And there's a number of veterans on there that I can use if I'm constructing a win now team, which it looks like I am.
Oh, shoot. What? Okay. Can I fucking...
Nope. That is a brutal pick. That's a brutal
just auto-picked, man. Like,
hey, maybe
when I'm overviewing this team, I was about to pick Melvin Gordon, but I was letting you finish talking. So
you should have just picked him.
I was going to, and then it fucking ran out on me.
Sam Darnold was on the board still. I would have picked him over a Daniel Jones. Damn it. So Flint says no shot Waddle still available. He's a little shocked by that. Reese says, does the player need to be in the queue to draft them? My first pick was auto-picked, would have taken Lamar Jackson. Yeah. At the end of the 30 seconds, if you don't pick, I believe it's just an auto-pick. So unless they're in your queue, they're just going to auto-pick a random person like Myles Gaskin just did for Danny. So if you don't want to get auto-pick someone you don't want, then I would recommend using the queue. But
and it's not like I can use a queue because as soon as I put guys in the queue, that's when fucking people are going to snipe me. So
for sure.
That is, I'm pissed. I don't even care. When I'm overviewing my team, I know you got Melvin Gordon here, buddy, but like he wouldn't have been there. So
Are you able to zoom in on the board more, Michael?
Yeah. Here, I could do this for a bit.
Yeah, just get us out of the picture. We don't need to be seen. Spicy God says Bush with the 3 RBs and the 3 QBs. Yeah, I really prioritize the scarce positions in this.
Man, I'm actually. What the hell, Myles Gaskin, man?
Yeah, it's fine. Hey, and maybe Myles Gaskin is starter in Miami next year.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd still take Melvin Gordon over him.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no worries, Michael. You don't have to see our ugly mugs anymore now.
Oh. It's such a great team, and then fucking you just see Gaskin in there, like, ew.
That's fine. Okay, so we got it's just a mock draft. It's not like it was.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trolling.
See Juju at 7-8. I can't get on board with that, man. Like I just don't think he's that much better than like a Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, I agreed. Yeah, I was contemplating Matt Ryan as well.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
I was contemplating Matt Ryan and Sam Darnold as well. I was actually about to take either Sam Darnold or Melvin Gordon or Jalen Waddle, and they went 3 picks in a row after. So, yeah. Call my mic.
Nice.
The amount of times I knock my mic over is actually insane.
Yeah. I wonder why you broke the cage on it.
Man.
Well, it's like we're seeing some receivers fly off the board now. 3 guys that I was eyeing with my pick, unfortunately.
Yeah, same. Oh, I'm in auto pick. Okay, cool. That's why. Nice.
Yeah. Oh, Reese, if you are getting auto picked, make sure you shut off the switch that says like in the queue, it's like auto pick might be switched on or whatever, where you can see where Danny is. If you want to circle that real quick.
Yeah. Man, fucking Miles Gaskin.
Michael, like in a landslide, I would rather have Chase Claypool over Juju. It's not even close
Yes.
to me. I think Chase Claypool has upside that you can only dream of for Juju Smith-Schuster. Like sure, like Claypool might not reach that ceiling, but I don't think that Juju has a shot to reach the ceiling that we thought he once had anymore. Off goes Tommy Boy. See, Tom Brady is like the perfect guy. If you can get him as your third quarterback in a SuperFlex startup, I love that Tom Brady pick, especially if like your second quarterback is like Trey Lance or something like that. You can just roll Tom. Like Tom Brady will be the Bucs starting quarterback for the next 2 years.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that's a win now type quarterback.
That's a top 12 quarterback both of those seasons.
Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, I wanted him to.
Oh man. That's tough. I'm just gonna snag Robert Woods here. You're getting him at the 8-9 for a guy who's perennially a top 15 at minimum wide receiver. I just think that the value is too much to pass up there.
Fair enough. I cannot believe this guy is this deep down on the things, but I'm going to take Deebo Samuel here.
That's a good pick here.
That low. I really like Deebo. I don't know why he's not going closer to where Ayuk is. I like Ayuk too, but I think both of those guys should be kind of looked at like as similar players because they're going to be deployed in a similar way. And I read somewhere that Deebo had like 38% of his plays last year were screen passes. So from a weekly floor standpoint, if you're getting that much involvement in the short game, and if you play in any kind of PPR league, that's just a floor that is so helpful when you're projecting a guy's season going forward. Because if Deebo Samuel has a bad matchup against a really good corner, and you know he's getting those screen passes, those carries, those design plays, then you know at the bare minimum he's going to have like a 7-point week because he's going to catch a couple screen passes.
Yeah, no, exactly. Deebo Samuel is super safe because of that involvement in the offense, because of that versatility that he is employed or deployed with. So I do agree.
Right. Okay. And Reese asked, how do you draft a player without putting him in the queue first time on Sleeper? Yeah. So the plus button that you can see on the far left side, beside Brevin Jordan's name there, you can just literally hit the plus button, and that's how you draft that player.
Yeah, no, I fully agree.
Using the queue is effective, especially in a live draft, or for an actual league, not a mock draft. You want to have some guys in your queue just so you don't get auto-picked Myles Gaskin.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would have had it in the queue, but
yeah. I think I'm going to go with a win now pick here, and I'm going to take Julio Jones.
Damn, I wanted Noah Fant. Oh man, look at the tier break at tight end.
Oof. Yeah, it's a huge tier break.
I'm just gonna snag Dallas Goedert while looking at that.
Yeah, those two guys are probably up in the same neighborhood. Why is like Brevin Jordan, Pat Freiermuth, and Mike Gesicki ahead of those guys?
I don't even know.
that to me seems outlandish and egregious. Like Brevin Jordan's a fine prospect. Pat Freiermuth is a fine prospect. Let's not pretend like they even have the ceiling that Dallas Goedert and Noah Fant have. They don't.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I've watched both of these guys play. Neither of them have the ceiling that Dallas Goedert and Noah Fant have. And not only that, but those guys are going to produce this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, yeah. I don't know why the live stream's not showing up for... Okay, now it is. That was weird. Man, this team would actually be so fire right now.
Yeah. That's
what quarterbacks?
Yeah, still a lot of there's actually a decent amount of running backs that I kind of like on the board still too. I'm a little surprised by that.
Yeah, I agree. Like I'm not gonna say too many names, but I think we're eyeing kind of the similar guys.
Yeah, some young guys that are there and some win now guys there as well.
Yeah, bro, your boy Jamar Jefferson. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jamar Jefferson is literally the worst running back I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's Garbo.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen, a really good win now receiver at this point in the draft. I definitely like that type of pick. Because if you think about it in terms of rookie pick type value, we're probably at the 202, 203 type range. And like if you're in a win now.
What would you rather have? Like someone asked us earlier in the Discord, I think it was they traded the 203 for Michael Pittman, I think it was. Would you rather have the 203 or Michael Pittman?
I love Michael Pittman.
I don't know, man. That's like really, really close to me. I think I would it's all going to depend where certain guys land and what the 203 ends up being in that range. But if it's Elijah Moore versus Michael Pittman,
that's what I'm saying.
Moore. But if Elijah Moore is gone, which I think he will be, because I think he's going to go in the first round of the draft.
So is it Michael Pittman versus Michael Carter then? Who would
Michael
you rather
Pittman
have?
versus Michael Carter, maybe versus Kenny Gainwell, and receiver wise, you're probably looking at like, I don't know, maybe Terrace Marshall or something like that. Like, I don't know. I think I would rather have Michael Pittman after the Elijah Moore tier of receivers personally.
So you'd probably put his value at about the 203, 204.
Like, would you rather have Michael Pittman or Diami Brown or Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Pittman.
I think I would take him over those guys too. And those are my wide receiver 6 and 7. So,
however, Diami in the right spot, I think has an argument personally.
If he was a Tennessee Titan, would you rather have Diami or Michael Pittman?
I'd probably take Diami.
I probably would too, but like that's a pretty ideal landing spot for him. So
yeah. But yeah, no, it's interesting talking about these type of battles before we fully know the landing spot, just kind of comparing the situations. Because let's be honest, that's how cut and dry Dynasty is. A landing spot is going to really depict where a guy's value is in terms of tier. In terms of
no, I wanted Will Fuller at my pick, man. That's
good value there.
Michael says, would you rather have Debo or Ayuk for Dynasty? And what is the difference in value looking to draft the 49ers QB this draft? So the difference in value to me is minimal. I mean, whether the perceived difference in value is that Ayuk is higher by like a round or two, I think they should be valued the same. I think they're relatively the same age. I know Debo is a bit young or a bit older of a prospect coming out, so he's probably like 24 right now, whereas Ayuk might be like 22, 23. I think they're going to be deployed in similar ways. They're both have the same play caller, same situation. I think both of them are getting an upgrade at QB, so I like their value in general. I think it's more of like a pick your poison thing. I think the PPR guy will probably be Debo Samuel, whereas like the big play downfield guy might be more of Ayuk's game.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that as well. Yeah, just kind of scrolling to the board. I can't scroll too much because people are going to catch on to what I'm doing.
Beyonds because he just took Henry Ruggs if he is.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, unfortunately. I was looking at him with my 11-3, my turn pick. That's probably where I was going to be aiming to get him, but
Pain.
Yeah.
This one for you, Bush.
Yep.
Pat Fryermuth, baby.
Depends on. Okay, so yeah, Michael, if you're talking about a league that you currently have like going on right now, how the owners value them, like I think the owner is going to value Ayuk higher, most likely, because out of sight, out of mind with Debo Samuel this past year. He was injured, banged up, didn't really get to see him. So I'd imagine Ayuk is going to be highly valued. I hate you, Danny. You really had to take him, huh?
That's why I was scrolling down earlier. I'm like, well, what are these rookies saying? There's another guy I'm eyeing.
I'm going to take another one of my guys. I'm going to take Michael Carter here.
I like it. You know, I was praying Elijah Moore got back to me. I love my receivers, man, and I would also love my running backs if you slotted in Melvin Gordon there. But
yeah. So Michael says, I have a lot of second rounders willing to make that deal if I get that Niners QB. Willing to make that deal for one of the two San Francisco wide receivers? Is that what you're asking? Because I don't think you're going to get either of them for a second rounder, personally.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, you'd probably
I would, but I don't think the Ayuk or the Debo owner will be willing to sell them for a second round pick. Maybe you can get Debo for that, but I don't know. You probably have to add a little bit more than that.
Yeah, like if you were the Debo owner and someone offered you like the 203, the 205, and the 208, would you take it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay, because that's probably around what value I would say.
I kind of low-key want Odell with my next pick. I know I'm not.
That's a pretty good value though, man.
It's pretty decent value on a guy who's probably still somehow like 27 years old, 26 years old,
and he's 28. But yeah,
going to be productive for the next couple of years, probably.
He's 28, but yeah, no, I fully agree. I mean, he's shown in the past +2. Like it's the fucking 10th round. You're taking upside shots regardless. So. Yeah. You're getting him here as your wide receiver 3, despite having 2 stud tight ends. And I'm actually curious. It's not a tight end premium. Why'd you take 2 tight ends? But yeah. Regardless, I think that's pretty solid.
Jameis, that's pretty good value on him, man. Honestly, like Cam Newton went off the board before Jameis.
That was my next pick.
I'm looking for another wide receiver here. I'm looking through this list. Man, there's like a lot of guys that are all very similar to me here. And I am going to actually go with a guy that I think is going to be productive right away. I'm going to take Brandon Cooks because I think he's kind of a question mark. I'm going with a really win now receiver core because I think receivers are really easy to replace. And given we're doing a dynasty startup, theoretically, I would have all my first round picks for the upcoming years. that I could target young receivers with. So I don't mind going a little older in the receiving core. Generally speaking, they last longer in the NFL. Plus, I think there's more variance with running backs year over year because of the draft and stuff. Running backs tend to lose their job faster than receivers. So I don't mind taking a receiver with like a 2 to 3 year window left in their prime, like Brandon Cooks probably has.
Yeah, I agree. Brandon Cooks, I was considering him. I wanted also
Damian Harris, man. I was considering him with the Michael Carter pick. I probably should have picked him.
I wanted Diami to fall back to me too, but he got sniped right after. Good pick. But yeah, you got to be quicker than that.
Right. So Michael said, I have the 2-4, the 2-6, the 2-10, and the 2-11 for seconds. What would you give up? Okay, so if you can get like one of those early ones, like the 2-4 and the 2-11 for either Debo or Ayuk, I would probably do that. 2-6, 2-11 maybe for Debo, 2-4, 2-10 for Ayuk, because I do think Ayuk is probably going to be harder to pry away from the owner.
I think personally, like if you want Ayuk, like you would at least have to give up all of them, to be honest.
You think? I don't think you'd have to give up that much. I think you could. You probably have to give up the 2-4, 2-6 though, probably
minimum. Like if I'm the Ayuk owner, I don't even know if I take all those twos for him, to be honest.
Yeah, I think 2-4 and 2. What if you had like a Jalen Reagor on your roster and you gave him like Jalen Reagor in the 2-4 for Ayuk? Do you think they would do that or no?
Maybe I would still personally take Ayuk there because I do think Ayuk's got top.
I would too, but you think like a person who was high on Reagor or something, or some rookie of that vein would give up?
You could probably swindle that, yeah. Which is crazy to think about because Reagor was like what, the 111 last year. And now
he might have been higher picked than that. A lot of people were picking
crazy.
Like the 109.
Man, yeah, because they're watching like Fusu and stuff. You know?
Yeah, literally.
Because BMI overproduction.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh, Jamar Jefferson. Yikes, Matt.
Oh.
Come on, man.
Come on, Matt. Oh, shoot. What did I just do? I pressed one of my mouse buttons, and it just took me there.
Elite.
Are you guys high on – wait, I'm not sure. Yeah, no, I feel that. You guys high on Komet? Yeah, we do like Komet. I think – let me check where I currently have him in my tight end dynasty rankings. I think he's fringe top 15, I believe. He's tight end 16 for me in Dynasty right now, and if anything happens to Jimmy Graham, I have no problem moving him even higher than that.
Jimmy Graham's still on the roster?
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't think he is, dude. I swear he got cut.
If he got cut, I can raise him, but I think he's still chilling. Yeah, he's still on the Bears.
I have him at tight end 12, so I'm quite high on him, I guess. Yeah, that's great. That's great value on Irv Smith, man. That's 12-5. That's great value on him.
I was hoping he fell back to me. Dude, there's like no quarterbacks even worth taking now. I'm so upset that James got sniped for me.
What do you got?
I got two. I got Fields and I got Allen. So,
fair.
I mean, there's a couple guys I can get later for a cheap.
Payson Hill.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. You know, and I'll take the boy Kylan Hill, bro. What receivers can I take here? I could go with Michael Gallup. I think that's pretty solid. Let me not time out. So, okay, I'll just. Where is he? I'll just take Fitzpatrick. Fuck it.
That was quick.
I was scared there. I was hoping I was just like thinking what type of fringe quarterback is available. I'm like, he's the only starter of the quarterback position left. Probably a little bit of an overpay in terms of relative value, but it's a mock draft, so I don't care. I'll fill out that spot if I need to. It would have been a lot nicer if I had Sam Darnold in that spot instead of Gaskin. But say Levy.
I'll take Corey Davis here. I think maybe maybe it wasn't a mirage that he broke out last year. Maybe he is really turning the corner in his career, and the system he's going to be playing in New York is a very similar system to what he's going to be or what he played in Tennessee. So I think transition wise, he should be okay. The obvious worry is that he's got to go up against the corners that he's got to go up in his division. And you don't really know how well he and his new quarterback are going to get adjusted to it. I assume it's going to be Zach Wilson. I think, oh man, Raver's just taking my dudes out here.
Pain. Oh, you didn't just take Kyle Trask. Oh, no.
I mean, whenever you can take a quarterback that is older than Jameis Winston, you got to do it.
Yeah, no.
I don't think he actually is, but it's probably pretty close.
Yeah, for real. I have Jasicki, Fant, and Komet. Yeah, that's real solid. In what way though, Matt? Because Cam Akers.
I have to like wholeheartedly disagree with that.
Yes.
Take, like, just completely, because
I
anytime I watch Jamar Jefferson, I think the best attribute that Cam Akers has is his feet. I think
yes.
he is so elusive and he's so agile, and I think that is the absolute worst attribute of Jamar Jefferson's game. So
yeah,
I personally don't see that at all. I think Jamar Jefferson offered two things, which was size and speed, and then at his pro day, he offered neither of those things. So to me, he's like borderline undraftable at this point.
Yeah.
Like I see very little upside with him. He offers really nothing on third down either.
Yeah, no, that dude has brick hands as well. So
do I just want to snipe the hell out of you, Danny? I kind of do, actually. I'm going to take Michael Gallup here.
No, I was hoping you didn't see him.
I knew you were eyeing him down.
You could tell I was fake scrolling down the receiver board. I'll take JD McKissick. I think he could do fine as my RB4. Well, probably my RB3 considering.
How could you pass on a workhorse like Todd Gurley?
Yeah, you know. Man, I want to Gallup so bad. That's pain.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned. I was watching Dwayne Eskridge and like, I want to love him, but then you can't because you realize he's doing it at like 25 years old.
Yeah, Dwayne Eskridge, honestly, like
he's got great film, but like once you factor in everything, it's like I couldn't give him more than a third.
Is he like the Matt Bushman of like wide receivers?
Literally, though, no, literally, like his tape was that good. Like I think he's got legitimate like 4.35.
Well, I mean, Bushman was good his whole college career though. Like it wasn't just 1 year, so like he's not really that. Like I just think Eskridge is just another one of the dudes that is going to fall by the wayside once he gets to the NFL. Like maybe he can carve out like a special teams
wide receiver. I think he could be like a wide receiver 3, maybe end up developing into a 2 because he's got the burners and he's got the overall route running ability, in my opinion.
I'd be shocked if that happened. I think he's more of like an Isaiah McKenzie, like Jakeem Grant, like caliber of receiver in the NFL.
So you're definitely lower than I am on him. What grade did you give him?
I haven't formally graded him, but I have watched him. So I
probably like a 4.
Yeah, he's probably a 4th, 5th round player for me.
Okay, I had a mid 3 on him, but then when you factor in the age and stuff, like I understand valuing him a little lower than that. But Bush, you got a question directed at you. Brian's asking.
Oh, I can't do another mock. I have to get some stuff for the grocery store so I can make my dinner. So I cannot actually do another mock. We can run another one at some point. I don't know about you, Danny, but I've been getting a lot of messages about like rating people's dynasty teams. So we might have to run that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I got a couple the other day. So we can like make a tally, make a notebook, or like write in our notes who asked, jot it down, and then end up reviewing their team. So we'll definitely do that within the next week.
And question.
Yeah, go for it.
And why is Michael just making people pick players before I'm on the clock? Because that was literally the guy I was eyeing with my next pick. So we'll say shh on him. Michael, if you want to tune into the channel early next week, probably tomorrow, to be honest, I'm going to have a top 5 sleepers in rookie drafts video, and Tamorian Terry is in that video, and he is one of the guys I'm probably highest on in this entire draft cycle.
Yeah, no,
he's probably my wide receiver 8, so that's how high I am on him. I have a higher grade on him than I have on Rondale Moore.
I'd probably make a video too, but exams and stuff. But Bush got the head of that. My next 2 weeks for exams is actually going to be pretty crazy. But I'm not going to give too much away by scrolling down. But we just saw Todd Gurley get auto picked.
Yikes.
Ew. Yeah, no, Rob, you said your team is dust. My team would be so nice right now if you just sub out Myles Gaskin. So, Mike.
After Adam Thielen at 9-7, your team went down the shitter, in my opinion. You got Cam Newton, Kadarius Toney, Logan Thomas, and Devontae Parker, and now Nyheim Hines. I don't know about that one, Chief, but your first 9 picks I really like, actually, to be honest. So disagree on the first part.
I'm not crazy high on Jarvis, but I mean 14-9 half PPR. Like I'll take him here, round out my receiver core, and also too I didn't want to snipe you, so take your boy.
Yeah, I was gonna do so.
So let me check your team, Ryan. So you got Harris, Gibson, your 2 running backs. You got Justin Herbert, you got Ridley. So first of all, I do think that's a bit early for Herbert, but I mean, if you're the proponent of getting your guy and you can't trade down in this instance because it's a mock draft, I'm fine with it. You got Waller here at the 5-2. I mean, I think that's a really good tier break. You got him almost 2 whole rounds after the top 2 tight ends, so I think that's a really good value there. Devonta Smith, 6'11". You can't do wrong after that. I definitely think that's a good value for him. Kenneth Gainwell a little early. I don't know. I just
some people are really high on him. I can't
fair.
I can't get on board with it. I don't think he has the upside that a lot of people see. People see the Alvin Kamara upside with him. I don't think he has even remotely in that stratosphere of upside personally. I think his upside is a guy like Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Austin Eckler, where only in the most favorable of situations and when it comes to pass catching work can you finish as a back end RB1, which is what I see for Michael Carter as well. But I think Carter is just an upgraded version to me of what Kenneth Gainwell offers.
Yeah, definitely. So then you got Derek Carr. I think that's a really good value, especially considering he's your second quarterback. You got him at the late 8th round.
You got a nice run of picks with Carr, Fant, Beckham, Winston, and Mitchell. I really like a lot of those. And honestly, even Mike Davis, he might have a decent role this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. Even if he's not the starter on Atlanta, if anything happens, we've seen multiple times, Mike Davis is a really good spot in, fill in type running back. If anything were to happen, you definitely could flip Mike Davis for an early second round type pick to someone who's in a win now type situation. So I definitely agree. I think that's a pretty good value for Mike Davis. Now, talking about Fant, I love Noah Fant, but in your current situation, because it's not a tight end premium and you have Waller, I probably would have leaned receiver at that spot if you got.
I mean, you can always flip Noah Fant. You could probably get a better receiving option than the ones available for Noah Fant to a tight end needy team.
Potentially, yeah. So, I mean, I don't hate it as well. You might
be able to upgrade from a Noah Fant to like a Kenny Golladay.
Yeah,
which was like a round earlier of a pick.
Yeah, definitely. Or even if you put like Fant in like a 3rd round pick and got like Cortland Sutton, you could probably do something like that.
Right.
Well, in this situation, he had Kittle, so like probably not in this type situation, but in like just a standard league, if somebody has Cortland Sutton as their wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5, you could definitely probably swindle that type of move. So we'll get through a couple of these. Maybe I'll get you guys to rate my dynasty. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I actually helped him out. He had a little dynasty draft yesterday, so we were just in a Zoom call chilling, having some drinks. But yeah, good time. Do you think he'd be there at 210? Who's he return? Oh, Tamori Terry. I think he should be there. And if
I think he will be. Yeah. So in the sleeper video that I talked about, I believe his DLF ADP, according to Dynasty League Football,
was like 3.5. No,
it was like the 3.5, 3.6. So I think he's going to get better draft capital than a lot of Dynasty Twitter thinks he's going to get. So I think his ADP will go up a bit from the 3.5, 3.6, but the 210 is probably about the range that I myself am going to be targeting him, because I think that's where he belongs to go, if not a little bit higher than that. So, I really think Tamori Terry has a chance to be a much better professional than he was a college player.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, heck, what you look for in terms of projecting these type of mid-round type upside receivers, he's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the downfield ability. Now, if he lands in the right spot where he can develop his overall game, I agree. I mean, he's got upside out of the wazoo, as you would say. So,
I have to break some news to you. By the way, I watched a player that you are not a fan of, and I actually liked their game.
Let me see who.
I watched Seth Williams today.
Oh no, you like him?
I kind of do, yeah. I have a late 3rd rounder on him.
Okay, like that. I thought you were about to say a late second. I was like, oh no, but
I got a late. Or sorry, was it an early 3rd? Sorry, an early 3rd, not a late 3rd.
A little high for my taste.
I have higher grade on him than I do on Kadarius Toney.
Did you watch the South Carolina film?
I did, and I literally JC Horn is like
JC Horn's a god.
I'm literally he's just ending people's careers out there in that game. Like, that is just crazy. I put a lot more stock into JC Horn than I did on Seth Williams in that game.
Yeah, and then you think how fucking Kyle Pitts had 4 for 57 and 2 touchdowns on him, and you're just like, yeah, Kyle Pitts.
Well, Williams mossed him like 40 yards downfield in that game. Like, he saw the stat line against him, but like the stat line that JC Horn had was just ridiculous. He had like 5 PBUs. Yeah,
no, definitely. Here, let's get through a couple comments, and then we can continue talking about that. I was Korg in this draft. You want to go through my picks? Oh yeah, no problem. So Korg, so you got Lamar Jackson, DeAndre Swift on that turn there. I really like that start. I personally probably would have leaned Derrick Henry at that spot because, again, you got Lamar. You're in a type of win-now situation, in my opinion, but I don't fault it at all. James Robinson, that's probably around the range where I would start considering him, though I probably personally would lean ETN. I still think that's overall a solid pick. Jalen Hurts, early for me. What are your thoughts on Hurts at the 4-2?
I lied to you again, by the way. The grade that I have on Seth Williams is a late second rounder.
Oh.
I miscounted the number. But the guy I compared him to, I think you'll take an interest in this because both of us were lower on this guy last year, and he kind of proved both of us wrong. I compared him to T. Higgins.
Dang. Yeah. Okay.
I did like his game, man. I actually thought he had in terms of like a weaknesses on his game, his hands weren't great. Like he had, I think it was like 8 drops this year, and like 10% of them was like a 10% drop rate. But the 3 that he had against Arkansas that PFF credited him with, they were like very tough contested situations. Like I don't really know if I would have called them drops, but he has inconsistent hands. So I'll give you like you that if that's one of your issues with him. In terms of route running, he's not the most urgent guy in the world. I don't think he runs routes like very fluidly, if that makes any sense. And then in terms of physicality, I think he can get better in that area in the run game and in some contested situations. But the thing I was really impressed with about him was how good he was after the catch. I did not expect him to be that good after the catch.
That's fair. The kind
40% avoided tackle rate after the catch.
What turned me off about him, again, you mentioned it, the route running, the separation, and sometimes not playing to that size that he has. Again, because you're a little bit higher on him, I could probably check him out, see if I, hated on him a little too much with the film. But when I first watched it, I got like late 3rd, early 4th round type vibes. I didn't fully grade it pen to paper, but I'll definitely have to give a numeric grade to it. But
I would watch the game. So I watched the first 3 games I watched of him were 2019 against LSU, Derek Stingley, 2019 against Alabama, Trayvon Diggs, and 2020 against South Carolina, J.C. Horn. Right, so I was like, yo, this dude's faced some corners. He's faced some dudes.
Yeah.
And he held his own in those games. Like he produced a little bit. He wasn't like spectacular in those games. He also has Bo Nix throwing him the damn ball. Yeah. And when I watched the Arkansas game and the Ole Miss game, he really like played well in those games. Except for a couple of the like contested things that he didn't come down with against Arkansas. I think he's got a pretty decent game. And I think what he has is like a shell of like a game that you can coach up into an X receiver in the NFL. So I think I do like him a little bit more than I thought it was going to. That's
fair. So let's continue going through what's it called? C. Spence's team. Sorry about that.
Sorry, I went on a tangent.
You're good. So we were talking about it basically. I probably would have preferred Derrick Henry at that 2-2, but I can't fault the Swift pick because I do think
I would fault the Swift pick. I would have taken Derrick Henry.
It's fair. James Robinson at 311. I mentioned I probably would have preferred ETN at that spot. But
yes, but I don't think that's
I don't hate it either. Hurts early for me. I personally would have taken like Tannehill, Watson,
I don't
Stafford. Yeah, you like Hurts?
The quarterback number a little bit. Actually, I don't know, dude. Because honestly, if Watson was clear, he would have gone ahead of him. If you wanted to take Hurts over Tannehill in a dynasty league, I don't really blame you that much. I personally would take Tannehill over him, but I think it's fine value for Jalen.
That's fair. I like these 2 picks. I mean, Allen Robinson there, and then Chris Carson. I understand like he's got that injury stigma around him.
Off pick either at 7-11.
Yeah, that's pretty solid too. You got a 1-year starter.
You got him after Matt Ryan. I think I would rather have Jared Goff straight up in a dynasty over Matt Ryan. It's like a 10-year age difference.
That's fair. And then you got Rashad Bateman. I think 8-2 is a really good value for him. I would put him in around that area. So overall, I mean, you got the kind of youth of your team. So I like Bateman kind of supporting that. Which one?
The Will Fuller pick at 10-2. I really like that. I was eyeing Fuller with my previous pick, the one before it.
That's really good value, and that's good value on Chenault as well. 9-11 is about where I would have him as well. Overall, I like your team. You did really well here, and especially considering you waited on the tight end position. We're still
pretty solid tight ends for waiting.
That's what I'm saying. So I like your team there. Like your team. So we got Michael. Would you trade Fant or just Sicky if you have both? I would keep Fant.
He's so fast, it's not even funny.
Easily. I mean, he's a worse Zach Ertz who might have his replacement coming in.
Yeah, I think he does have his replacement coming in personally. I think Kyle Pitts is going to be a Dolphin.
I have a win never team. Good practice though. I like that. I want to get Terry. Yeah, no, that'd be solid. A little early for me personally on Stevenson. Like
he's going to be a draft capital guy. I could see him
Yeah.
going to a situation where he's going to actually get a feature ball carrying workload. Maybe he goes to a situation like, I don't know, where they have a pass catching running back currently. One thing I saw is like, do you think the Chiefs could take a mid-round running back to carry the ball?
That would be fun. You can get a little banger between. Actually, if you have Clyde, it wouldn't be fun for you. But
No,
in terms
like
of
if
fit,
you had Stevenson as like
get
a
a banger
for the Chiefs or something, I wouldn't hate something like that. I think Darrell Williams kind of offers some kind of that skill set. And if you replace Darrell Williams with Ramondre Stevenson, I think you got a guy that has, I mean, he's probably only like an RB3 at most, but he has some kind of dual handcuff value with Clyde Edwards-Helaire if anything going to happen to him.
I don't mind that either. Plus, like we've seen multiple times, they'll do those flip passes on the goal line. They'll do those bootlegs with Mahomes. At least now you get a thumper between the tackles that can finish off those runs, because we've seen multiple times last year that CH was just not able to get it done on the goal line. At least having that type of, I know there's a stigma, oh, he's a bigger back, he's going to pound between the tackles and score. Like, no, that's not always true. But for Ramondre Stevenson's case, like I do think he could fill that role if needed in the NFL. So I've seen mocks of Terry going to the Chiefs.
I don't really like that spot, to be honest. I don't think it's a great spot for him. I think the spot I really like for Terry McLaurin is a spot
Good morning,
where,
Terry.
Oh, what did I say?
You said Terry McLaurin.
Oh, okay, sorry. For Tamori and Terry, I want him to be a deep threat and the primary deep threat of an offense. And if he went to the Chiefs, he's clearly not the primary deep threat there, right? They have Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman already. No. So I would rather see him go to a place like Tennessee, where he would be the primary deep threat there, because A.J. Brown is their X receiver. And he could stretch the field, obviously, too, but he's not like, that's not his only job. So I would like to see him go to a place where he can be the primary deep threat of an offense. Maybe he goes to like the Bengals or something. Maybe he goes to Tennessee. Maybe he goes to Green Bay. Maybe he goes to New England even. Like, I think like they could use a deep threat or something like that. I like those kind of spots for Terry, because I think deep threat is where he's going to excel, especially early in his career.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I was actually about to mention the Packers. Imagine him just stealing MVS's spot.
Yeah. I think my like floor projection, like my low end projection for what Terry can be is like a MVS, and then like the high end projection being like a Chase Claypool or something like that. Yeah,
no, definitely. Appreciate y'all boys. Always love the content. Appreciate having you in here, Raver. Yeah. It was fun. Definitely a lot of fun. Reset. Is it bad if you hope?
I mean, your team isn't that bad. I like your early round for sure. Your early round is like very solid.
Yeah, it's not bad. Waited a little bit long on the quarterbacks, I would say, but overall, like I like what you did in the early rounds. I don't even mind it overall. Like if Trey Sermon gets enough draft capital, I don't even think that's a bad pick either, to be honest.
I think you drafted a rebuilding team, personally.
Yeah.
So the Brady pick maybe doesn't fit in with that, but like you have three of like the best young dynasty receivers you can have.
Yeah, definitely. Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, and Jamar Chase. There are some people that like have them as three of their top five.
Yeah, exactly. And you have a young superstar running back with Saquon too. And I mean, Eckler is going to be great. I think I probably agree with you. I think I would have probably taken a QB over where you took Chase, and then maybe double up on a QB where you took Cousins. Like if you would have taken
Zach Wilson,
Kirk Cousins, or Trey Lance, Kirk Cousins, or something like that, then that probably would have been better for what your team is kind of set up to be. That's something you want to keep in mind when you're in a startup draft, is the way your early rounds go is probably going to be how you dictate what your team is going to do early on. If you go with guys like I did, for example, with Christian McCaffrey, Aaron Jones, and Nick Chubb, I'm trying to win. Like I got running backs that are in their primes right now, so I'm trying to win right away, which is why I took a Ryan Tannehill, a Matthew Stafford, a Julio Jones later in the draft.
Yeah, and like if you see my team, aside from maybe Landry, well, how old is McKissick? Probably like 29. He's only 27. Okay.
Team's older than that, I agree.
Yeah, Landry and Fitzpatrick. Aside from them, like you guys can see, like, let's just sub out Myles Gaskin here. But aside from that, like all these guys are in that like 22 to 26 type age range. You want guys that are similar in age because you want their peaks to kind of happen simultaneously. Because you want your best year to happen when all of your guys are in their prime. All of your guys are performing at their peak level. And you see, like, Josh Allen's still only 26 years old. Cam Akers is 23. Justin Fields is, 22? Javonte Williams, 22.
Yeah, you're looking like a year two competing team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, aside from Gaskin, yeah.
Akers and Williams for sure, like, and Fields, those guys would be, like, year two competitors. So, like, after your first 4 rounds, I would have been like, yeah, like, I'm going to build youth and I'm going to build guys that are going to be good a year from now.
Yeah, and agreed. And I did that to a T, in my opinion.
Like you could have
overall,
taken Pitts over McLaurin based on the way your first like 4 picks went.
maybe. I still think like Terry McLaurin again is still only like what 25 years old.
For sure. But like
so,
if you were going with that kind of theme and you wanted an elite tight end,
fair.
I think 2 years from now, Kyle Pitts is going to be an elite tight end for fantasy.
But like, would you rather Terry McLaurin and Dallas Goedert or Kyle Pitts and like Michael Pittman? Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
That's kind of how I viewed it as well. Because Dallas Goedert is still only like 27, 27 years old, I believe.
Yeah.
He's 26 years old. So like he still kind of fits the frame. But I do agree that Kyle Pitts, when it's all said and done, by this time next year, could find himself in this 4-3 type area. And to be honest, I think this is actually the latest I've seen the tight ends go. They usually go around this turn area.
I see people take Kelsey like in the mid-second round, usually, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. So I agree. Let's get into some more questions. Do you think Ramondre Stevenson? It depends on his draft capital. We're going to see that for a lot of guys.
With him and a lot of those guys in that running back range, with anybody like I think after Trey Sermon in terms of like NFL draft circles, I think most NFL draft analysts have Trey Sermon as their like RB5 or like RB6. So I think anyone after him is probably a guy that you're just waiting on draft capital with, because I think Ramondre Stevenson personally is going to be like a 4th or a 5th round pick. And if that happens, then he's probably a guy that's going like at the very tail end of a 3-round rookie draft.
I agree. First mock of the year. Thanks for the feedback. Anytime, man. Anytime. Yeah, you did a solid job here. If this was my real dynasty cheat, I would try to trade draft picks in 2022 for running back Dobbins and Kamara. Yeah, your RB depth is a little weak, I will say. You do got receivers out of the wazoo again, as Corey would say, and your 2 quarterbacks here are really solid. So, yeah, and then you got George Kittle. So yeah, I would say that you'd probably have to embrace a more win now type mentality, because you got older type pieces. Not old again, except for Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, I would agree with that statement. You'd probably want a win now type running back to complement this core. Maybe if you parted with a 1st and a 2nd next year, you could probably end up getting a running back like, what would you rather, a 1st and a 2nd or Joe Mixon?
I think depends where the 1st is going to be. If you're a competing team, the 1st is probably late. So I'd say Joe Mixon probably.
Yeah. What about David Montgomery?
I'd take the picks.
Okay, so like that's about the cutoff area. You could probably get a running back like this,
like ETN or something. I would rather do that.
Oh no, definitely. If ETN was available for that,
people,
I would.
People are lower on ETN, man. People would probably do that.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah,
the idea too, Matt, of just like if this was your team, just going into this year competing with this team, and let's say you like just miss out on the playoffs or whatever, then you got a primary pick to take a running back in next year's draft. Like this next year's draft is probably going to be just not a bit better than this one. Like this draft isn't very good for running backs, so you might be able to fill out your running back 2 slot in next year's rookie draft. So I know a lot of like the conventional wisdom is when you're trying to compete, you trade your picks and get a competing player. But at running back especially, I don't hate the idea of just using your pick on a running back next year.
Yeah, no, I agreed. I mean, Verdell's coming out next year, right?
I mean, Verdell isn't going to be like a top guy.
Yeah, no. I'm saying he'll probably be like a decent depth guy, like you can get in the 2nd, 3rd round area. You got Breece Hall, you got Spiller, you got a good amount of guys that are tough. Yeah, so like you got a good amount of guys that are coming out next year. And to be honest, I've said it multiple times, but like I know in your case, like you want to trade it for a win now. But I'm telling you, this is the cheapest the 2022 draft picks will be.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So if you're in a startup right now, again, I recently made a move. I think it's beneficial for both sides, again, because it was for the 103, I believe. But if in any type of move down scenario, if you can get a rookie 2022 rookie 1st attached to it, 2022 rookie 2nd attached to it, people are going to want that stud. They're going to see the name DK Metcalf. They're going to be like, oh, man, I'll trade my, say it's for this 305. I'll trade my 508. 805 and next year's 1st round pick just to make sure I have a guy like DK on my team. But when you actually look at relative value here, for example, you got DK Metcalf or you got Jamar Chase, Tom Brady in a 1st rounder next year, right? Like when you compare those sides like once you actually provide context to it, you would prefer the package. However, in a draft, in that type of circumstance, people are going to see the name DK and are going to be willing to part with more of those future picks because they're not really putting name value to them just yet. So yeah,
For sure.
it was the same thing even last year. People were so hyped on the 2020 class. They're like, oh my God, I need 2020 picks, 2020 picks, 2020 picks. If you were to have traded the 106 last year, you probably could have gotten 2 2021 first rounders this year. And when you look back on it, let's say the 106 last year was, I don't know.
Cam Akers.
Yeah, Cam Akers. Would you rather Cam Akers or would you rather Travis Etienne and Devonta Smith?
Or
Javonte Williams,
like
Kyle Pitts, right? So people don't think about it on the spot like that. But with that being said, I think we were pretty much summed up here.
Yeah,
Anything else
we kind of went on a 15-minute tangent after the mock draft was over. So if you guys are still around, thanks for joining us on our nonsensical rants that we're on right now. If you're watching this on YouTube currently, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are not already. I think it's like 80% of the people watching our videos are not subscribed. So
crazy.
If you guys are not subscribed and you have been watching our videos, it doesn't cost you anything. So just hit the subscribe button because it helps us out, helps us grow and all that kind of stuff. And same with the like button. Every video, if you guys are subscribed to the channel and you like the video, then you're helping us out more than you know. So we appreciate that. Appreciate any of you guys that joined us for this mock draft and all of you guys that asked questions in the comments and engage with us during this process. So stick around next week. We got a full content slate coming at you. I think it's 18 days away from the NFL draft right now. So we're getting close, man. It's getting into prime dynasty season, prime rookie season. And I'm excited.
Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, with that being said, thanks guys. See you dudes. Take care, y'all. We'll see you this week. Bush is going to have you with that sleeper video coming soon. So stay tuned because we got that. We got a bunch of ready-made videos ready to put up on the channel for you guys for these next couple of weeks. It's grind season. It's draft season. Get ready because guess what? Dynasty drafts are underway. Peace out, y'all.